I forgot the gators. The gators. Unfortunately, due to the lack of parts that I can find for this 87, which is becoming a theme of my series, is one of them is the chain guide, which runs along the edge of the chain. I can see whoever used this had also run out of it and just rode it without. But this is an 88. Now, you see these ridges here are designed for a different shape of fork. You get this, a bunching up here of these things. So I'm going to take a risk, and grind those away and grind this off so I can get it flatter. I don't really have a choice, so let's wish me luck. That's fairly successful. I mean, there is still a gap there. Hopefully that'll work. So the next challenge is to find how to mount this. It is a chain guide mud splash guard, which on the 87 and 88 sits there. So I cannot find one anywhere. I've looked. There's only one in Canada, and they want silly money for it. So I'm going to make one very discreetly out of aluminium for now, until I can replace it. Given it a very good clean because it had a lot of silica blast inside the bearings. Okay, I'll just take this back to the workshop and press these in. They were tight initially. See, I'm going to try and fix this area of the front brake hose. So I bought a string sleeve, but I'm just going to try and see if this will work. Yep, that's nicely protected. Alright, well, my undying faith in the silica blaster still exists. If I look at these, you can see a lot of gunk, and they're looking a bit worn actually. Okay, I didn't see that before, so these will have to be replaced. Clean these threads out before I insert the coil with the earth wire. These are original pipes. These are the tank rubbers. I happened to spot them on his many pictures he sent me. This is the air filter bracket that holds the air filter. These are wire loom cables, narrow foot pegs, so fantastic. I've just got the spring back from the spray room. It was originally sprayed a matte finish with the other bits, which isn't correct for the spring, so I just got them to put some lacquer on it. We're murmuring, oh my darling, I love you so. The night seemed to fade. So I've got one spike left. To me, he's I'm going to put them all through the silica blaster. With rubber, silica or any medium, even sand, doesn't really affect rubber, it just bounces off. See how nice and clean these pipes are. I'm just going to put the seals in. And this part I didn't get to, and separate to the other part with a new one. We have two seals, one is dark on the outside and one is dark on the inside. Smallest of the seals slips on nice and easily onto the end of the fork. Slip that in the end. You'll see the thread come through. You unwind it, give that a good clean out, because that is what controls the pressure of the fork. So just got to make sure this is clean. That on, and again I'll make it to get the seal in. Slide it down. Not least, get that ring on. So I'm using the 5-weight shock oil, and the manual says between 630 and 670, 670 being the harder, 630 being softer. Well, it makes sense to me that because I don't know what I'm dealing with, I'll go for the 670, and if I need to drain any off, then I will. We're going to slowly massage this oil in so we get all the air out. So now I'm going to pull all this up and then attach the spring. Wonderful. I forgot the gators. The gators. This will come off again as I do all the rear parts, but I just wanted to stare at this thing. It's the most unusual bike because it's such a modular bike. As a frame, it's really small and light. It doesn't look like anything. And then you put these shocks on, and they're fairly modest in size when they're on their own, but when you put them in, and you just see how far they stretch, I mean, they just go forever. And then it starts to swell, it starts to get bigger. And then it starts to look like something a little bit more like a 500. Just really excited as you can tell. So guess what's just come in the post? The beast is back. And they managed to get the head off for me. They said it was a real problem. So we're going to give that a good clean, and then we'll just we'll grind that on a flat surface. And here's a beautiful job done on that. Now I just want to show you something how accurate this thing's been pulled. So this is the second oversize, and I mean that is without rings. That is just, it is so tight, so beautifully done. That is just, so just as a matter of interest for myself and my viewers, how much material is removed when they rebore. So this is the 0.5mm oversized piston. That just gives you an indication. North American way. So the one on the right is the replacement one, and they look very similar. So I'm just going to cut the curves on the new one to match the original one, because the original one bits are broken off. All right, that's profiled. Let's see if that fits. There we go. The jug and the head are repainted. I'm not assembling the bike. I'm putting the bolts on that I need. Now, bearing in mind, this bike was unassembled and it had bits and pieces that were holding it together. They weren't necessarily the correct bolts. So I want to plate these, but I need to know which ones I'm plating. And we're looking for things like lengths of bolts, etc. So once I know what they are, then I can label them, put them out, and I can go to spend a few hours plating all the bits and pieces I need to do. So that's really what I'm doing now. It looks like I'm assembling, but I'm not. There's one slip and you got a chip on the paint. So now we start to narrow down what washers go where. You know, I've been thinking as I was walking up here what I was going to say and sound all prolific, but the kind of restorations that you end up doing, I think they choose you. I don't think you choose them. And I'll explain to you why, because I think, especially with rare components and parts, if you can't find those rare parts, then the emphasis on getting things accurate is not probably as important. So you start to put maybe your own stamp on things. But, you know, we've got to the point now where we've got so many things that are accurate. And I accept that I'm very new to the CR500, and I'm sure I'm making all sorts of mistakes about what is OEM and what isn't. But, for example, these pedals. When I first got them sprayed yesterday, I got them sprayed and said, you know, just gloss them, because when you matte finish things, you've got to actually apply a certain amount of hardener to the paint, and it's because you don't get a matte lacquer in the true sense. In a professional lacquer, getting matte finishes is about adding the amount of thinners and the amount of hardener into the paint that creates the matte or satin finish. So I just said to one of my spray team, just spray them black matte gloss, they'll be fine. And I stuck the gloss pedals onto the frame and instantly went, just doesn't look right. So I just got him to spray it again, and it's just, you know, everything matches. I'm just so happy with this restoration so far. Let's clear out these holes. There isn't much room for anything else, so that'll go there, and that one gets another screw there. I'm going to need new scoop screws and one radiator. Clasp is broken. Look what's arrived. A gold rim. I'll give it a good wash now and see how clean I can get it. Because it always makes a difference when you give it a clean. So let's see if they match. And Bingo. There we go. 2 wheels from God knows where in the world. Well, this comes from California, and the other, I don't know. So that was what I had as a proposition, was a painted one, along with that horrible rear. Now I've got 2 proper gold ones. I mean, this is not perfect, but I'm going to try a few little techniques to get this cleaned up. Yeah, slowly finding all the right spots for them. So then I feel confident that I've got everything I need. I don't have to order anymore. That's why I kind of stopped ordering at the moment. These are the seat bolts. Slowly the picture is forming about how this all fits together. So I've had to make a few alterations to get this to fit. So now let me try and see why we don't have an alignment with that hole. You really got to feel your way through the threads. I've got most of the bolts for the frame on. They all fit. There's still a lot more work to do in that area. But it's starting to look like an 87 CR. So, lots of good things today. See how far we've got to go. Yeah, she's starting to look like a bike now. So this looks like one of those impossible tasks that only I would try.